All right, class. First off, as always, good day. I'm glad you're here. So today we're going to finish off the amendments, basically the ones that apply to you, and one particular that doesn't really apply to you, but it's just good knowledge to have. Okay, because again, I meet a lot of people who, when they talk, it's just like, what are you talking about? Like they just don't know, and I don't want that for you guys. Okay, so we're going to analyze how and why the 15th Amendment happened, what's it for, things like that. We're examine the significance of the 19th Amendment and create an argument on whether the 18th and 21st Amendment should still be on the Constitution. Now, here is your warm up picture. Basically, what I'm asking you is this: what is this artist trying to say about women's votes? Okay, because that's what they're referring to. So, in your interpretation from the drawings, how it looks like, and things like that, um, what's the artist trying to say? Now, if you look carefully at the steps, there's words on it. Okay, that kind of helps you in the sense of if you look at the words as you go up, they seem to change, So look at those words, see what they mean. If you don't know what they mean, look them up. That kind of helps too. Or ask around you, you know, and hopefully that helps you answer this picture. Okay. Now remember, when it says analyze, don't put I see a girl, I see buckets. Great, that's wonderful. But what is this artist trying to say? That's what I'm asking, not you to list things. Okay. If you do list things, you're losing points. Okay. So be sure you answer this question correctly. All right. So pause the video, write your response because we're moving on in three, two, one. So the 15th Amendment says the rights of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or any state on account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude. And second section, sorry, says the Congress shall have the power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. So what does this mean? Basically, a state can't deny you the right to vote because of your color of skin. Doesn't matter if you're white, black, or anywhere in between, they can't deny you the right to vote. If you're of legal age, you aren't in prison, and you've registered to vote, okay? Some places say you can vote up to like a couple days before the election. Some even say the day of, the election, you can still register to vote. You just got to find out what your state says because every state is different. Okay. Now, with that being said, too, each state is different when it comes to prison because most say if you're in jail, you can't vote. Now, so far, what I've learned is that only in Maine and Vermont, those states are the only states where, let's say you registered to vote already, you're legal age, right? You weren't at prison at the time and you registered to vote, and then something happened. You got charged with something, you go to jail. You can still vote while in jail, okay? Because this was before you were accused of the crime and got charged and all that good stuff. So, yeah, okay. Those are the only states I found. Now, after that, some states say if you're on parole, then you can vote. But if you're in jail, no, you can't vote. Some say it depends on the crime. Like if you committed a felony, or anything above that, a serious charge like, assault and things like that, murder. No, but if you committed a lower crime like petty theft, um, manslaughter, things like that, um, then yeah, you can vote. Some states say no, if you go to jail, you have to serve your whole time, no parole. Some say if you are in appeal process, you can't vote. Some say if you've ever went to jail at all, you can't vote at all. So every state is different when it comes to voting in their state. Okay, now you have to look that up if you ever move. What does your state say the law says about you voting? Okay, but again, they can't. Um, they can't deny you just because of your race. Okay. Now, the number 16 one says Congress shall have the power to lay and collect taxes on income from whatever source derived without appropriations amongst the several states and without regard to any census or enumeration. So, this is a big one because you guys are about to be adults soon and you're going to be getting jobs. And a lot of times I get from students who have jobs is, oh my God, Mr. Martinez, look how much money they're taking out of my taxes. I was supposed to make $2,000 and I only got like $1,400, $1,500. They took $500 from tax. I'm like, yeah, uh-huh. And what? Oh, they took so much money. I'm like, yeah, they can do that. Oh, why can they do that? Again, that's the taxes. Okay, that's the income tax. So again, Congress can collect taxes from your work or any income. We're going to talk about this more when we get into economics and we talk about taxes. So like if you put your money in the stock market and you take your money out, they're going to tax you on that. Yeah, they're just going to say, oh, well, yeah, that's your money, you get to take it. No, no. Okay, so we're going to go more in depth on that when we get to economics. Okay, but yeah, they even made an amendment about that the government can take taxes. The 18th Amendment says after 1 year from the ratification of this article, the manufacture, sale, or transportation of intoxicating liquors within the importation thereof into or the exportation thereof from the United States and all territories subject to the jurisdiction thereof for beverages purposes is hereby prohibited. Now, what in the world does that mean? Basically, you can't create, sell, or transport alcohol. Yeah, you can't bring it from another country. You can't send it to another country. Nothing. No alcohol whatsoever should be touching your hands, even with gloves on. Okay? Nothing. Now, I know some of you guys are like, well, we have alcohol. We're going to get to that in a second. So just hold on. Okay? The 19th Amendment says the right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or any state on account of sex. Congress shall have the power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. Now, when they mean by sex, because at this time in the 1920s, girls didn't have the right to vote. You could not deny someone because of their race, and now you can't deny them because of their boy or girl. So now women have the right to vote. Yay! Now, this is something I've told my class last year because it came up last year. Um, some people, some politicians who are not friendly towards the gay and lesbian community were trying to say, well, if this person is trying to say that they're, something else, besides a boy or girl, then they should not have the right to vote because the 19th Amendment says it's for the right for women to vote. And if you look at the wording in the Constitution, you don't see the word women. You see right there on account of sex. So it doesn't matter if you're a boy, girl, or something else. If you're a citizen in this country, you're of legal age and you've registered, you have the right to vote. Okay? And those senators and those congressmen who said that kind of stuff, that tells you right there, they don't know the Constitution. They don't know what they don't know what it says. Yes, it was meant for women, but they didn't say women on there. Okay, this is what I mean about vagueness in the Constitution. They did not put women, it said on account of sex, meaning it's open to anyone. Okay? That's what I mean. That these guys don't know what they're talking about. That's why I want to prepare you for this kind of stuff. So you have that knowledge and you can spit that right back at them if they ever say that to you guys. All right. 21st Amendment basically says that the 18th Amendment, remember about the transporting alcohol, things like that, basically says the 18th article of the amendment of the Constitution of the United States is hereby repealed, meaning alcohol is legal again. Yay! That's why we have alcohol today. Yeah. So these are the only amendments, 18 and 21, that cancel each other out. That's it. There's no other amendments like that. So if you're ever on like Jeopardy and they ask, what are the two amendments that cancel each other out? And you put on there 18th and 21, you win like $1,000,000. Remember, I get half because I taught you. Okay. Amendment 22 says No person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice, and no person who has held the office of president or acted as president for more than 2 years of a term to which some other person was elected president shall be elected to the office of the president more than once. But this article shall not apply to any person holding the office of president when this article was proposed by the Congress, and shall not prevent any person who may be holding the office of president or acting as president during the term within which the article becomes operative from holding the office of president or acting as president during the remainder of such term. I know that's a lot, but it's basically this: you can't run for president more than 2 terms. Okay? And basically, what they're saying is, if let's say a president has done like a year or two in their term, and they kick the bucket and they die, that vice president who then becomes the president, they are now, because they did 2 years, that's going to count as one term against them. So they can run again, but then that's it. So the only way a person can run, like the maximum time is 9 years. And that's if the vice president, right? If the president dies and he served like 3 years and there's 1 year left and then he dies and then the vice president comes in and does that 1 year, that doesn't count against them. Okay. And then let's say they run again, run for president and do a term. They can then run another term because they never actually finished 2 terms. They only took over for one. And that 1 year was for 1 year. So technically, a president can serve only 2 years, but total maximum someone can be president is 9 years. When this was written, back in the 1940s, late 1940s, President Truman was the last president during this time. So they're basically saying he was the last president who could have ran multiple times if he was elected. But since he didn't, Eisenhower took over, and that's where it started with the 2 terms max. Okay. Now, once a president is done being president, he can be basically anything he wants afterwards. He can still be in politics as a governor, senator, House of Representative member, even a judge. We've had a president become a judge in a courthouse. You know, um, they can do that, but they can't become president anymore. Now, I've heard some people say, "Well, why don't like this person president become vice president, and then when that president dies, they become president again?" 22nd Amendment. They've already served 2 terms. They can't be president. Could they run for vice president? Sure, possibly, but under this amendment, they can't be president anymore. The next person, which would be the Speaker of the House, would then become president, and they would still, I guess, have to serve as vice president. You know, so yeah, they can't be president anymore. So that's the one I said that some people I've talked to, just out in the public and some of that, who don't know the Constitution, who like running their mouth about, oh well, why don't we just do this? Why don't we just do that? There's no loophole. There's no loophole. Okay, 9 years max. That's it. Okay, serve 2 terms. Boom, you're done. Okay. Now, the 26th Amendment says the rights of citizens of the United States who are 18 years or older to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or any state on account of age. The Congress shall have the power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. Because, yes, back in the day, you had to be basically 21 to vote. And at this time, people were going to war. World War One, World War Two, Korean War, Vietnam. And they were like, well, so you're telling me these guys can go off to war and die, but they can't vote in their own country that they're serving? That makes no sense. So that's why they created this amendment. Okay. So now the legal age to vote is 18. Okay. Now, here's my question to you. Why is it important to make sure that the government gets money from citizens one way or another? They tax us, things like that, right? On a bag of chips, which it says like 99 cents. It's never 99 cents. It's like $1.29, things like that. And they always add the taxes later. Why is it important that the government get taxes? What would happen to our government services if they got no money? Think like that too. How would our society be if things that the government got money from, they spent their money on, they didn't get any money? So think of like bus fares and government programs like, WIC and welfare and, you know, firemen and cops and teachers and things like that. What would happen to our society if the government weren't able to pay those people, pay for those programs? How do you think our society would be? Okay. So think about it. Write your responses. Okay. But once you finish this question, you've answered it, you're done with this lesson. So hopefully you learned something new. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Again, guys, um, keep these in the back of your mind because when you guys graduate and you go into the real world, you're going to need to know these rights because I can't be there for you. I wish I could to be by your side and basically say, no, this can't, they can't do that, or yeah, they can do that technically, but I can't. Okay. You need to know them for yourselves, and you can't really trust what you see on social media because a lot of times those people don't know what they're talking about. Okay. So, you guys take care, be safe, and I'll see you guys later. Okay.